Since You Asked on LinkedIn.
This is Ed Selko coming to you on your telephone directly from the electronic janitorial closet. Welcome to Since You Asked on LinkedIn. I am the Sid Vicious of the cleaning industry, giving it to you in a new style, raw, hard, unedited. You'll thank me later. Okay, I am deeply embedded in the digital bowels of the electronic janitorial closet, and the only reason is to strip away the myths and the nonsense and give you straight information about the janitorial business. Now, listen, this is not about removing difficult spots on couch cushions after a visit from elderly Aunt Ida, okay? All right, this is about your business. Now, this is how we play here. It's very simple. You post your question on LinkedIn, and you get an answer on video. I am now in the advanced stages of biodegradation, and I am fueled by 2/3 volatile organic compounds and 1/3 Southern Comfort. There's no teasing here. There's no sales spiels. It's just the real deal. Okay? Come on in, settle down, and again, this is not Hollywood, so what you see is what you get. Now, let me tear back, since we've been through one episode here, and this is episode number 2, which is called Milestones and Plateaus. What I want to do is just take a second and tear back the curtain to introduce you to the other folks here in the electronic janitorial closet, okay? Let me introduce you to our crack staff. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. This is, let's see. All the test results came back negative. Okay, let me introduce you to our staff here at the electronic janitorial closet. This is not the crack staff, okay? All the tests came back negative, and so everybody's in the clear over here. This is my team of angry janitors who are assisting me in this project, because, I mean, let's face it, I mean, there's no way I could possibly make all this magic happen all by myself now, is there? So just wanted to give you a shot of the rest of the staff here that's working behind the scenes, creating this incredible experience here on YouTube. Now, today's question came from Dean Dunn. Doesn't have his company name on his LinkedIn profile. It's commercial office cleaning at its best, unless that's the name of his company, in which I apologize. And his question is, I have a question that I'm eager to gain thoughts on. I've been in the business for 5 years now. I am primarily a subcontractor with a few customers of my own. Oftentimes I hear contractors sing the song that they need to get to the next level. What is that? Do some of these contractors subcontract too? Being a one-man show that's not removed himself entirely from the grunt work of the business, nor has rarely seeked his own customers, this all prohibits growth. Okay, this is a great question, really, because one of the things, what's behind the question is there's really a question about the framework of how a company grows. And today we're going to talk about milestones and plateaus. A company is, and this is all just my opinion after seeing this over and over again, a company is really an organic entity. It's a living organism, okay? And what happens is that there's a pattern of growth that you can pretty much count on. So let's talk about some of the milestones, because that's what Mr. Dunn has done here. I like that, what Mr. Dunn has done. Okay, so let me give you some real quick. I've outlined 7 milestones, And you can look at this a couple of different ways, but this is a fairly accurate description of how it really works. Okay, the first milestone, of course, number one, is you get an account. That's how you launch a business. Okay, so the first milestone is that you get your first account. The second milestone is that you hire your first employee. Okay, that's milestone number two. The third milestone is that you cease personal production. Now, I've seen some of the residential business talk about getting out of the field. That seems to be their term for this, but it's when you're not cleaning anymore. You've now hired. Remember, you went through the milestones. You've hired your first one, and there'll be others to follow. And at some point in time, the best money that you can spend is utilizing your time supervising others. Okay? So the third milestone is ceasing personal production. Okay? The fourth milestone, and a lot of folks wouldn't add this in, but I think it's important. And the fourth milestone is losing your first account. Now, talk to somebody who's lost thousands of cleaning accounts over the years. That there is something to be said about the experience for a new business owner to lose their first account. It's really a time to reflect and check out and see exactly what happened. Throughout this entire process, you need to be asking questions about what happened. You want to analyze and stay in control. That's your job. It's your company. So be in control. So the fourth milestone was account loss. Okay. The fifth milestone is your first supervisor. At some point in time, you've got a staff of people, and this could run anywhere from 8 to 12, where to a point where I've seen where owners have been managing as many as 18 or 20 people, cleaning people, all by themselves. Okay. I think that's overkill. That a supervisor, if you're not bidding to where there's supervision built into the accounts and there isn't money for a supervisor, then you've screwed up the bids. There needs to be money allocated to supervision. And just a tip, my guideline is a supervision factor on top of any labor needs to be in the 8 to 12% range. So the fifth milestone is the first supervisor. Now, at some point, you've got an organization where you've got employees, and now you've got supervisors supervising those employees. The next milestone is when you are no longer supervising the supervisors, and that's when you've hired your first manager. And so that is the sixth milestone. Now, the seventh milestone, and this is a significant one, but this is the first account that you can't drive to. You've gotten the first account that you can't drive to, and so what you have, this milestone is, it's your first branch operation. Okay, so we've identified 7 milestones, and I'm just going to go over them one more time. Number 1 is get your first account. Number 2 is get your first hire. Number 3 is ceasing personal production or getting out of the field. Number 4 is the first account loss. Number 5 is your first supervisor. Number 6 is your first manager. And number 7 is your first branch. So now, let me go on and just say that at whatever point that you are stuck at along the way here is what we call a plateau. You've taken it as far as you can take in it. You've made one of these milestones, okay, and now you're at a standstill. Okay, a plateau is a signal for change to the organization. Now, remember we talked about that a cleaning company is an organic entity. Okay, not really. Okay, but I mean it's a really good way to look at it. What you do is you go from a company goes from infancy to maturity. Okay, and during that time, these are the milestones that happen. It's an easy way to think about it, and it's a pattern that I've seen over and over and over again. Now, if you think about this idea of infancy to maturity, what I would say to you also is that, we start out in diapers, and that's infancy, and that's kind of like that first account when everything is just, you don't know anything. And then you find LinkedIn or you find Bill Griffin or Dick Olick or Ken Gallo or one of these people. And it's like, this is wonderful. Now I finally got some answers. But it's these people that take you through these milestones and get you through these plateaus. But this whole idea of going from infancy to maturity, let me just say that there's also a problem with waiting too long. So we start out in diapers, but let me tell you something. If you're still running your cleaning service and you're stuck at one of these milestones and you wind up back in diapers again in your old age, all right, you probably should have sold. You waited too long. You should have sold it. It wasn't going to get any better. You did as good as you could, and you should have sold it. Okay, so if you find yourself in diapers running a very old cleaning service, you waited too long. Get out. And that's it. Thank you for all your comments, and thank you for continuing the questions. This is going to be a lot of fun. What I'd like to do is ask you to please maintain your carbon footprint for as long as possible. I'm going to maintain mine as long as possible, or until I start losing mud. Then we have to reconsider everything and see if this is really worth